So you've seen the new Tyranid rules and thought, hey, this isn't new at all, that's stolen. So we just need more Battle Sisters. That's how we're going to get rid of this Tyranid menace. More of them. But how do we equip them? Now this isn't going to be a guide on how to build the models with glue. There's instructions for that, even though they're not great. This is about weapon options. The box comes with 10 models. I was going to suggest making 5 Dominions and 5 Celestians like the box itself suggests, but yeah, Games Workshop killed that script of mine, so I have taken some time to come back to this. You may have the push fit models from the super special starter box set. Those are fine. You get 2 special weapons, a cool flamer model, and an eye patch lady with a storm bolter. Those 2 push fit models are nice looking. The others, not so much. But it is about to get much worse. Welcome to the multi-part plastic kit. Every model has 10 plus pieces for a very narrow, fragile model. The British Army is currently considering exchanging their fragmentation grenades for these models because if you drop them, then they shatter into way more and way sharper pieces. But for the 10 models, you can either build them as 10 Dominions or 10 Battle Sisters. That is the minimum squad size for either unit. Either way you're building them, you're going to need at least 5 with bolt guns, and one of those also has a simulacrum, so you can get started on that. And you are going to want a simulacrum. It means that, for rules purposes, if those sisters or dominions actually destroy an enemy unit, you get a miracle dice. It sometimes does come up. And there's a choice of 2 different simulacrum. You can have a box with a statue, or you can have a box with a cage. The box was very naughty and its imprisonment must be displayed to all enemies of the Sororitas. The different ones will let you differentiate between different units. There isn't specifically one for Dominions and one for Battle Sisters. It is purely an aesthetic choice. Then when you're building your Dominions, I would go for all 4 of the same weapon. It lets you be very specialized. 4 Flamers, right now, is a very good choice because it lets you overwatch very effectively. The 4 Melter Guns, well, Melter Guns have gone from wounding vehicles on a 3+ to wounding vehicles on a 5+, just because of the increase in vehicle toughness. So they are less popular at the moment. But again, if you think that looks cool, go with that. You can have the Storm Bolters as well to have an intense amount of firepower, but it's all going to be anti-infantry. And while you get a little bit of extra range, if you're going the anti-infantry route, I would choose Flamers. You can mix these weapons if you want. I've gone for a mix of Flamers and Melter Guns because I like to be able to do anti-light infantry and anti-heavy infantry. Let's not pretend that Melter Guns are going to be anything anti-tank until at least a January balance patch. And even then, let's not have too much hope. But if you want the best sort of competitive option, lots of Flamers is probably the best way to go with Dominions. But if you're going more competitive, people are choosing to take Battle Sisters over Dominions. And again, I am one of those people. So your Battle Sisters, you can have 2 weapons in your squad of 10. You can have 2 special weapons, such as the Flamer, the Storm Bolter, like those monopose kits. And the Melter Gun is also classified as, like, in my mind, as a special weapon, as it used to be termed, and as a lot of people still term it. One of these 3. You can have 2 of those 3, including 2 of the same. Or you can have 1 of them and 1 heavy weapon. Don't have a Storm Bolter when you can have a heavy bolter. Don't have a Flamer when you can call for your sister to get the heavy Flamer. Instead of a Melter Gun, well, the unit can have a multi-melter, but a multi-melter does not come in the box. No. If you want one, they are only available in the Retributor box. Or you can try and take one off an immolator and fit it to a person. It can work, but that's again adding more tiny plastic bits to an already fragile model. If you were going to use an immolator to split the Battle Sister squad into 2 squads of 5, I would take the Heavy Flamer. Then you can have the Heavy Flamer and, say, a Flamer or Melter Gun in the immolator with the Superior, travelling along to take an objective further up the board, while 5 Sisters with bolt guns just stays at the back generating miracle dice on your home objective. If you are having a squad of 10 alone, then the Heavy Bolter is very nice for range. And it is a nice profile in itself. Sustained hits, so every time you roll a 6, you're getting an extra shot. Strength 5 is quite nice for the current edition, and 2 damage is very important for getting rid of things like Chaos Space Marines. And I would match the special weapon to the heavy weapon, just so we're having some consistency. I know I just said Heavy Flamer and Melter Gun, but that is still an anti-heavy infantry match. Strength 6, very good for taking out heavy infantry. Even if it's only AP -1 and 1 damage, you'll actually be wounding. but a heavy flamer and a flamer is very nice. And if you have a Palatine in the squad, that means that the bolt guns will get lethal hits, so that makes an Overwatch unit pretty good. Auto-hitting flamers. Every 6 you roll to hit with a bolt gun is automatically wounding as well. Alternatively, you can have a Canoness for full rerolls of failed hits normally and when overwatching. And fire seems to be a very popular way of doing things at the moment. But this is going to come down more to personal choice. Neither of them are going to win you the game. Multi-melters, kind of okay, very short range, and it doesn't come in the box is the difficult thing. But unless you have got that monopose kit, I don't want to be seeing 2 special weapons in your Battle Sister squads. Now what about the Superior? The Sister Superior has a lot of weapon options, more than are actually listed on the card. You can give her a pistol, a special pistol. Now when you do that, she becomes a cowboy gunslinger and has 2 pistols. Do not forget to fire your bolt pistol. It previously was that you could swap the bolt pistol for like an Inferno pistol, and then you'd still have your bolt gun. That was an 8th edition thing, so I've modeled mine like that. But now you swap your bolt gun for the special pistol, so you have a hand flamer and a bolt pistol. Don't forget to fire the bolt pistol, it can make a difference. Inferno pistol and hand flamer, you don't get those on the sprue. If you want to be equipping your model with them, you need to use Seraphim pieces. Unfortunately, this kit, which I don't particularly like because of the aforementioned many pieces, and when you actually stick them all together, they might as well just be a monopose model. And also, you can't get all of the bits you need to do all the things you can with the squad without the addition of other boxes like the Retributor squad and the Seraphim squad. So, if you wanted one of those pistols, the Melter pistol is very short range at 6 inches. It can be okay if you get stuck in combat and then you can maybe obliterate one of your enemies. Otherwise, you're probably not going to get into range to use it. The hand flamer is a very nice flamer if you're going in a unit of flamers that have decent overwatch and anti-infantry firepower. Just remember that each of those individual flamers is a different strength. Hand flamer strength 4, flamer strength 5, heavy flamer strength 6. But since you can't build, at least with this box, your Superior with that Inferno pistol or hand flamer, you could just have a normal bolt gun, but don't, because for free you can get better weapons than that. The first one being a combi-weapon. Now you can build 3 kinds of combi-weapon. You can build a combi flamer, a combi melter, or a combi plasma. Let's not do the combi plasma. It is against the holy trinity of bolter, flamer, and melter. And they all have the same profile, so it very much comes down to an aesthetic choice. For what the weapon actually does, I would think combi melter. It's only 1 shot, but rapid fire. It has anti-infantry 4+ and devastating wounds. The bit to note is it only has ballistic skill 4+. Compared to all of the other Battle Sister weapons, which are 3+, or just auto-hitting because we're using fire. So that's perfectly reasonable for fighting against enemy infantry. I mean, anything other than that, Battle Sisters are going to be struggling. Now, the combi plasma is just the same combi weapon, but you can also have a plasma pistol. If you were going more the pistol route, that is actually included on the sprue, compared to the Inferno pistol and hand flamer, which are not. It has been a tactic with the Our Martyred Lady kind of detachment, where you could deliberately overcharge your plasma pistol in the hope that you roll a 1 on your hazardous test, and then you've lost a model, and then the shooting of the rest of the unit will become better in future turns. I don't think it's worth it on one of the good guns, and our only combat weapon really in that squad. Rather than the combi weapon or the plasma pistol though, I would have the condemner bolt gun. It is only 1 shot but rapid fire, so it's much the same as a bolt gun, hitting on a 3+, unlike the combi weapon, and it's anti-psyker 2+. With devastating wounds. So you can really annoy that one Chaos Sorcerer, you can mess with anything that's playing Tzeentch Demons. Psychic as a keyword is a drawback for people's armies and units. And the way it works, if it's an attached unit, is it doesn't matter which model you're firing at, you're just firing at the whole unit, so you don't necessarily have to use precision. If there is a Psychic in that squad, the whole unit has the Psychic keyword. So you can be doing devastating wounds on a 2+ to any of them. It is a little bit situational, yes, but we're more likely to hit than we are with the combi weapon. And we have more range, unlike with the plasma pistol. So if you have a Seraphim box, hand flame is a good way to go. If you don't also have a Seraphim box, Condemner bolt gun is my recommendation. And then you can also equip your Superior with either a chainsword or a power sword. Choose the power sword. It's the only weapon we've got that's doing close combat damage with any kind of armor penetration. It's also at strength 4, so you're actually more likely to be wounding something like a Chaos Space Marine. 1 extra attack with no armor penetration is not doing it. Space Marine chainswords, they get AP -1, Battle Sister chainswords don't. You're going to need the power sword. And you don't need to have the model holding the power sword. If you wanted something more dramatic, or you had an older model, there is also a power sword in a scabbard on the sprue. So you can just attach that to the model, and there we go. You have a power sword. And if you want to quickly support me making these videos, there is a £2 a month tier on my Ko-Fi linked in the description. That would mean for every 12 videos I make, you support me with £1. That sounds very reasonable. So if you want what I think is the optimized build for this, you're going to want a Sister Superior with a power sword and condemner boltgun, a Battle Sister with a flamer, a Battle Sister with a heavy flamer, one Battle Sister with a simulacrum, and then 6 Battle Sisters with boltguns. And if you want to know more about Celestians and how you can proxy one particular unit as Celestians, check out this video next. My darlings and viewers, have a great day with your Battle Sisters.